Hello Graham heads and welcome back for another Skyrim VR video. Today, this time, we're going to be discussing arguably the best part of Skyrim VR and Skyrim as a whole, the mods. I'm going to be going through and explaining my top 5 favorite mods that I enjoy playing with in Skyrim VR that add various levels of quality to the gameplay, whether it is to add immersion, provide some simple quality of life changes, or just make the experience less glitchy in general. They may be Skyrim VR specific mods, or they might just be generic Skyrim mods that translate nicely to VR and add quality to your gameplay. Before we get started on the actual list, I do want to mention many of these take advantage of SKSEVR, a script extender mod, and Sky UI, an updated inventory management mod. Not only do most of the mods I am going to list use it, but the vast majority of all Skyrim VR mods use it as well. With that being said, let's get right into it. Number 1. Realm of Lorkhan. This mod is not specific to Skyrim VR and has been around for a while, but it is by far one of my favorite mods of all time and an almost thoughtless install whenever setting up my mods. Realm of Lorkhan effectively allows you to skip the bland, repetitive, and memey wagon intro we are so used to and create your own backstory to add to your gameplay. You can start off with almost any weapon or armor, align yourself to various factions in game, pick a class that add innate bonuses to your skills, add blessings and boons if you're role-playing a particular specialization, and much, much more. It allows you to really add an element of class, character, and role-playing customization that the base game simply does not offer. Once you're done creating your character, fleshing out their backstories, and picking your weapons, you can spawn in one of dozens of locations across Skyrim, including every major city and plenty of locations off the beaten path. Ever wanted to know what it is like to start a game in the middle of the Reach? Now you can. Ever wanted to roleplay a traveling merchant who was ambushed by bandits and left for dead, only to wake up and seek revenge against his perpetrators? Now you can. Realm of Lorkhan is a 10 out of 10 for me. Would recommend. Number 2. Distinct Interiors Fixed. This mod is amazing, and it is actually so immersive sometimes that I forget that you can't just steal everything. This is another not designed specifically for VR that translates nicely in the crossover. Distinct Interiors Fixed adds new, completely customized and variated interior decorations for various locations across Skyrim. No longer will you have to walk into 2 random inns on opposite sides of the country and think, I've been here before. They are all now totally unique, and I have to say in VR, this really does help add a nice subtle element of immersion to your gameplay. It won't always be so blatantly obvious, but you really will begin to appreciate a change in scenery after entering your 37th random house and realize that no two are exactly alike. Number 3. VR Combat Enhanced. This is designed specifically to take the boring, janky, and quite frankly, broken melee system from the base Skyrim VR game and turn it not only into something functional, but really quite enjoyable. This mod changes the swing physics and requirements for exactly what registers as a swing and forces you to actually use your melee weapon or weapons as if you would in real life. It makes melee combat far more engaging and feel much more realistic than before. Additionally, VR Combat Enhanced adds flinch mechanics, providing more feedback and immersion during combat. Now, if you are struck by an opponent, your character will momentarily flinch as they recoil from the blow, much like one would in real life if they weren't completely high on skooma.
To keep it for yourself. No. There's got to be more scuba. Shut up! Shut up!
Likewise, if you strike opponents not just with melee weapons but also arrows or magic, they will also flinch. There are two versions you can download for this. One causes the camera to shake quite a bit during, and the other one does far less. The first one is recommended for added immersion, but less so for those who get particularly motion sick. If that's the case, then the no shake version is probably best for you. All in all, a must-have, in my opinion, for any Skyrim VR playthrough. Number 4, No Stagger mod. This mod is pretty simple and pairs nicely with VR Combat Enhanced as a good way to get rid of the complete abomination that was Skyrim VR Melee before. No longer do you have to worry about obnoxious staggers or getting knocked over or knocked unconscious during combat in Skyrim VR. No more will you have to face the spinning vortex of doom as you try to prevent yourself from throwing up all over your walls or get the worst case of vertigo a human could possibly have. With or without VR Combat Enhanced, this is a must-have. Number 5. Real Wildlife Skyrim SE. Let's be real, the standard state of the wild in Skyrim, though an incredibly beautiful landscape, has a distinct lack of any wildlife. There's something unnerving about having such a beautiful world so devoid of life. With Real Wildlife Skyrim SE, it adds a hustling, bustling animal ecosystem for your immersion experience. This mod isn't specific to VR, and it certainly seems like something that could be easily overlooked, but for me personally, I love just walking around in the wilds of Skyrim and exploring the land. Seeing more of its beautiful creatures throughout really adds a new element of immersion and awe to the game. Additionally, it modifies their behavior patterns to be more realistic, i.e. bears and wolves won't automatically attack on sight every single time now, thank Though it isn't anything huge or game-changing like Realm of Lorkhan, it is easily one of my favorite mods, and again adds a very subtle and pleasant element of immersion to the gameplay. These are my top 5 favorite mods for Skyrim VR, and there were a lot I considered, but ultimately these were my top choices. Keep in mind, this is only my personal opinion. Your experience may vary quite a bit, so do your own research, find what works best for you, experiment around a bit, and find your own ideal mod setup for Skyrim VR. If you sweet Khajiit made it this far, you're one and only about 10 people who made it here, which means you're probably really enjoying my video. With that in mind, I was wondering if you could do me a huge favor. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and slam that notification bell. It helps make sure that you don't miss any of my future videos, plus it's a really easy, free way to help support the channel, and it only takes a quick second. Thank you so much for watching, Graham Heads. I love each and every one of you beautiful Fother Muckers. Gramsy out.